Hey everybody, AJ here. Welcome back. Hope we're all doing well. Hope we're all doing physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually well. Staying healthy. Um, so I'm gonna make a video on just kind of speaking my mind, I guess. Um, I'm gonna be finding a different job here soon. Um, you know, so I'll explain why I'm gonna find a different job. So basically, I'm working at a I'm working at a fast food job right now, right? And usually during the summer months, it's a lot busier than always. It's a lot busier than other times of the year, and um, and we're expecting a lot of business and stuff, and we just haven't been getting it, and I'll explain all that, and I'll get on into why. So I've been only getting like 26 hours a week, 26, 27 recently, and it's been really fucking bothering me because even with me being homeless, that's still not enough money for me to save and pay my necessary bills that I have to pay. And it's just difficult, with trying to save up money and all that shit. It's just frustrating because I hate job hopping is the term that I would use. It's like I hate job hopping. I hate having to go to a different job just to run into the same situation, over and over and over again because the job market is completely shit right now. You can't find a decent job, without having to get a college degree and have experience. Like, I don't get the college degree part because some of these people, they'll go into like thousands and thousands of dollars of debt to get a job. And, when they go to apply to these jobs, they don't even qualify, even with a college degree. You got to have experience. So, like, pretty much a lot of these people are wasting their money going to college to try to get a job that they'll never get, and some of these degrees that I hear about, it's like, what job has that? Like, I can't name them on top of my head, but like some of these degrees, you're going into like thousands of dollars of debt just to fucking get a. You don't even end up getting a job in the end. You have to work a minimum wage job before you can even find a job that's related to that career field you studied for. It's like, it's all such a scam. College is such a scam and all that shit. It's just I went to college for a week back in 2021, and I lasted a week, and I'm like, this isn't worth it. Like, I'm not going into debt to go to school again when I hated school to begin with. Nobody likes fucking school. You know what I mean? But with this job, it's like when I first started, because I needed to get a job right away, so I had to pay necessary bills, you know, um, they were actually giving me really good hours and stuff. They were giving me good hours. They were giving me like 35 to almost 40 hours a week. And I'm like, that's what I want because, that's considered full time in our society, like 40 hours, even though technically the government thinks that 32 to 40 hours is full time. So you can work a 35-hour week and that's considered full time. And that's the hours I was getting. And then slowly but surely, they started cutting my fucking hours because the general manager's fucking up labor so bad that even his job's getting threatened right now. It's like, and then he takes it out on all of us. And it's like, it's just like with these minimum wage jobs, you don't be surprised, that no one wants to work these jobs because first of all, you're paying them like shit. I get paid 14.25 an hour. That's $7 above the minimum wage, but still that's considered minimum wage in our society because that's fucking bare minimum pay, and even you know and all that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then I'm working like, you know, There's this one shift I work. It was 9 to 1, literally 4 hours. I think it was. No, was it 4 hours? Yeah, I think it was like no, it was like 4 to 5 hours or something like that. Let me do the math quick. I'm stupid. Yeah, that's 4 hours. You know, that's nothing. 4 hours, like a 4 hour shift, is not going to get me anywhere. And it's just 26 to 27 hours a week is nothing. That's not going to pay the bills. That's not, and that's not going to be able to make me money any really. It's all going to get blown on stupid shit like bills and all that and taxes. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. And a lot of these general managers and managers that you work with or coworkers, they treat you like fucking shit all the time. You're treated like garbage. Literally, you were treated worse and than the customers. It's funny how like there's this whole Karen culture. I mean, I get the whole Karen culture. Gen Z and millennials made that thing up, but the thing is that a lot of these Karens are the people you work with. They're so miserable themselves that they take it out on everybody else. When you have such a negative energy attached to you, everyone around you can feel it. Don't try to argue with it. It's literal fucking just it's I think it's science, you know what I mean? But it's deeper than science. Someone can feel your energy. It's just I feel energies really quickly. Like, when everybody, you know, when I started, it's like my first week or two, like everything was chill. Like I was happy, I was laughing, I was actually having a good time at work, even though, even though I was working, a minimum wage job, getting only paid 14.25 an hour. I was trying to make the best of it. I was trying to make the best of a shitty situation, of a shitty job. But then people's energies switch up. People are mean, nasty. Your own coworkers will just be mean and nasty to you. It's because they're projecting their negative energy and their negative feelings onto you. So now you're carrying all the negative feelings and energies, and then now you're going to be projecting onto everybody else. Like, just for an instance, yesterday, like everybody I was working with was fucking miserable and just completely like mean, and just being kind of a piece of shit in my opinion. And then I started to kind of be kind of mean and you know have this negative energy about it. And I stopped myself. I'm like, why are you doing this? You were just happy like a week or two ago. Why are you doing this to other people? Like I wasn't like swearing at people or like insulting people, but I was just kind of like kind of getting short with my tone. And I'm like, I caught myself. I'm like, don't do that shit. And that's what these minimum wage jobs do. They drain the fucking soul out of you physically, mentally, and emotionally. You know what I mean? It's like you leave the end of the workday just feeling exhausted and feeling so drained you don't want to do anything else. And that's so fucked up about our society, is that they got all these jobs, for high schoolers. It's like it's already enough when you got to put kids through school when they're like children, and then they get out of it when they're adults. Literally, school is a system to it's a design system to make us become slaves. That's what school is about. School does not teach you important things. And I know this firsthand, and I know this from other people talking about it. It's extremely true. Why do you think the people that were failing out of school, or why do you think people dropped out of school? It's because they know that the potential is much more worth than sitting 8 hours a day in school learning useless bullshit. There is a very, very little chance that you learn anything from school and you retain it. If the stuff actually mattered, you would retain the information. The information would be useful, but it's not. And I know I'm supposed to be talking about my job and stuff, but it goes into a whole fucking topic of stuff that I could talk about. But basically, yeah, I'm gonna be finding a different job, and it's not gonna be fast food, and I'm not gonna be quitting my job. I'm gonna get through it. And then when I'm applying for jobs, and then once a job gets out to me and I get an interview and then get hired, then I quit the job. From my experiences and from the choices I did into my life to myself, I quit the jobs on the spot. I would just quit my job because in that moment you're so filled with anger and fucking rage that you just quit your job, and then you look back, you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And you're acting out of your emotions, and when you're young like me, that's normal to do, to get so angry with a job that you just end up quitting, because like, I'm not going to sit here and try to play the victim card, but every single job I worked, there's a couple that were not bad, and I kind of did it myself. But a lot of the jobs I worked, you were treated like shit. You were treated like a slave. You were talked to like a slave. You were paid like a slave. Like, no one wants to put up with that shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I show people respect. When I meet new people, I automatically give them respect. But as soon as you like talk down to me or treat me like I'm lower than you are, no, like I ain't gonna show you respect. That's just not how it goes anymore. I'm not just gonna continue to show you respect if you're disrespecting me. Of course, that's just how it goes with me. So like, yeah, I will be finding a different job here. Because I'm just gonna say it. I have child support to pay, and that has to be paid. You know what I mean? Because my daughter needs it. She needs me. You know what I mean? So that's the only exception I'll give. But everything else, like taxes and federal state bullshit, it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? It's draining your money, and we're being robbed of everything. We're being taken advantage of without us even fully knowing that we're being taken advantage of. Like, insurance is such a fucking scam. Taxes are literal robbery from the fucking state. It's like, and then the thing with the government, and the thing with like, this isn't just a government. I've learned that this is people in our society as well, like other people, is you can't give anyone a fucking inch because they'll take a mile. That's literally the best way that I can describe is, you don't give them an inch because they will take a literal fucking mile, and it'll take more miles and more miles and more miles and more miles until you're stripped of everything. You know, it makes more sense to be homeless in the 21st century because everything is so expensive. You can't even put a roof over your head without paying like thousands of dollars a month. If you're in New York City or like California, you're paying 3-4 grand for a shoebox. Are you kidding me? How is society this brainwashed to think that paying 4 to 5 fucking grand for a shoebox is reasonable? That's robbery. You are being robbed of everything. Like, oh my god. Like, I'll give it to him. The brainwashing is so good that no one even notices it. But I'll tell you something. I'll take that back. There are lots of people noticing it, but there's some people who are not awake to the bullshit and corruption, that are not awake. It's just, this system is so broken. Like, this system is extremely broken. They've been trying to, not even trying. This system's been going on for fucking years and years and years, you know? But here's the thing. It's going to get to a point with the system and the government, to the point where people are going to start buying their own land. Excuse me. People are going to start buying their own land. People are going to start forming their own armies and farming their own civilizations and their own villages and shit. And they're not going to listen to what the government has to say, because at that point, the government doesn't mean shit. The government does not have any power at that point. If the people know they're being fucked out of everything and being fucked with, they're not going to listen to you anymore. They're not going to pay any attention to you anymore, because they realize that this system is corrupt, and it's all about money and power. Money and power. You know what I mean? It's like, We give all of our resources away. We give all of our money away to these dumb things. This corrupt, stupid system. It's like like I don't understand why everyone's still putting up with this bullshit, you know? And I know why it is, because a lot of people are scared to be homeless. A lot of people are scared to be out on the streets. A lot of people are scared to go into that kind of living. And I'm not scared anymore of being homeless, because you know what? Homelessness has taught me that there is more potential to my life than slaving away, and giving away all my money. I get work and a job when you're homeless, because when you work, when you're homeless and you have really no bills or any like kind of responsibilities, you can save all of that money and you can do whatever you want with it. You can build out of a car, or you can buy a piece of land if you make that much money or whatever, and you can literally just live in peace. But even with that, even if you buy land or your own house, you're still being robbed, because they'll be like, oh, you got to pay us property taxes on a house that you bought and you paid. Like, it's just, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, why are we allowing that? Like, property taxes, are you kidding me? Like, we're paying that to the state, to it doesn't make any sense. And it's like the manipulation and the gaslighting is just so heavy that it almost damages your brain just thinking about it. Like, you can't even process it because it's so fucked up. But it's just, like, I'm just so tired of job hopping, and a lot of it I did to myself, because again, I quit these jobs, just being like, fuck this job, I don't need this job. But then, like, I realized, like, if I would have stayed in that job, and quit with the 2 weeks, it would look better on my record. I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter about the 2 weeks or not. Here's the thing, corporations can fire you without the 2 weeks. They can fire you on the spot with absolutely any reason that they want. So I mean, why do we have to do due diligence of giving you 2 weeks when you can just fire us at any time with no absolutely good reason? You know what I mean? So you can believe what you want to believe. You can do whatever you want. I'll do whatever I want. Whatever I do, karmically, consequences, they're gonna affect me. And you know what? I'll be like, I did that to myself. That was my fault. So, but that's just kind of a rant. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so crazy nowadays that, we just let all of this happen. We just let the corruption, and we just let control be taken over us. It's just, but the more people that wake up to this, and the more people that realize that we're being scammed and robbed of everything, that we are slaves, that at that point, the government should be scared of the people, because the reason why the government is here, because the people let them be here. The people pay their taxes to the government. The people pay their money to the government. Like, a lot of the money that the government gets is from us, the people. you know if we take back what's ours, and we stop paying attention and stop messing around with this federal system, that they will lose power. It's that simple. But we let it happen, so the more that we give, the more they will take. Again, with the give them an inch, they take a mile. And at this point, I mean, fuck, the government's got like thousands of miles, so. Well, that's my video for today. Thank you, everyone, for my last video. That did really well. Thank you for the support. Thank you to the new subscribers. If you're new, subscribe. Like this video. Tell me what you think. You know what I mean? So, alrighty. Well, thank you guys. All right. See ya.